Hello and welcome to the Mike from LA1 Network here on YouTube, and welcome to my Monday Night Raw review of June 24th, 2013. Well, before we get started, gotta say one thing. Congratulations to the Chicago Blackhawks. They are your 2013 Stanley Cup champions by pulling off a great comeback, scoring 2 goals in 17 seconds, which I have to say, that is very impressive. This is coming from a team that almost lost to the 7th seed. They were one loss away from elimination to the 7th seed, all the way to win it all. And this is probably the first time in a long time that the President Trophy winners actually end up winning the Stanley Cup. So yeah. And also, I gotta say, congratulations to the Boston Bruins fans. They put up a terrific season, even though they were my pick to win, because that would have been a good a good way to end the season, to triumph over tragedy. But unfortunately, Chicago put a stamp on that one, unfortunately. And I know there's probably some young Bruins fans crying the fact that they lost. All I have to say is, hang in there. I've been this way before, with the Kings losing in '93, even though I was like 6 months old, so I barely remember that. But I was really upset when the Mighty Ducks lost to the Devils in 2003. But the Ducks ended up had to wait 4 years later. 4 years later to get the Stanley Cup to Southern California, and I had to wait an additional 5 years. 5 years for the Kings to do it. But at least Chicago and Boston, Anaheim and LA have one thing in common. They won the cup faster than Toronto. We all won the cup faster than Toronto. Ew. Yeah, sorry Toronto, I had to make that joke. But now it's time for the Monday Night Raw review. And boy, if you want a great Monday Night Raw, this was the one for doing it. In fact, there was like, on the Facebook poll, even though I don't have it. This was a heck of a night. That was a great show right here, as Monday Night Raw was absolutely terrific in my opinion. But before we do, let's head to the match. First, Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton. The first half of it. Well, the second half we'll go over that later. Well, the games got so chaotic that it ended in a double disqualification. That's all I got to say about that. Next, it was Team Roll Scholars versus Sheamus and Christian. Well, after last week when Sheamus lost to Team Roll Scholars in a handicap match, it was Sheamus' turn to dish some payback, as there was some miscommunication between Roll Scholars. Possibly a Cody Rhodes or Damien Sandow face turn, I don't know. That's up in the air right now at this point, as Sheamus hits the bro kick on Cody to give Sheamus and Christian the victory. And also, prior to that, there was indeed that announcement that on Friday Night SmackDown, it'll be Sheamus versus Damien Sandow in a Dublin street fight, which that would be incredible. But we'll get to the next. We'll get to, speaking of street fights, we'll talk about that in a little bit. Next, it was the Divas match, Kaitlyn versus Oksana. Now, let me tell you, if you want a good Diva storyline, this is it. As we saw Kaitlyn come out, we didn't see Oksana come out for some reason. But then all of a sudden, during the match, Kaitlyn's music entrance theme hit, and Kaitlyn was already there. Wouldn't you know it, it was AJ Lee dressed up as Kaitlyn. And then Oksana almost pulled off the big victory, but in the end, Kaitlyn hits the spear and Kaitlyn beats Oksana right then and there. And then out comes Big E Langston, and yeah. But if it wasn't for Layla, as WWE.com says, it would have had another brawl out there. Yeah, the Daniel Bryan Randy Orton match ended in a brawl. Next came Chris Jericho and the World Heavyweight Champion Alberto Del Rio. Yeah, this is probably one of my favorite matches tonight, other than the match that we'll talk later on about. This one was 20 minutes, but in the end, Chris Jericho had the walls of Jericho locked in, and somebody interfered. If you said Ricardo Rodriguez, you are correct. He hit the bucket on the back, at the back of Jericho, and then Dolph Ziggler came out. He got payback, more payback on Del Rio, and all coming with Ziggler hitting the zigzag on Del Rio. And then Jericho and Ziggler seemed eye to eye, and then Lord and behold, the pay for that code breaker on Sunday night, last Friday on SmackDown. Jericho hit the Ziggler hit the zigzag on Jericho. So I was like, oh great, he turned heel. I was like, oh great, this will be the shortest face turn since Jack Swagger. Even though Swagger's was only a one night thing. Next, Jerry the King Lawler and Vicky Managing Supervisor Vicky Guerrero and Brad Maddox, or Team Bricky, were talking about the contest for WWE 2K14. Jeez, how weird is that, me saying that? As they announced the contest for video game colors that rarely pass without incident. Okay, let's see this. As I love what WWE says, they did dig Johnny Brown, referring to Mr. People Power. Yeah. As they announced their true cover, the covers, but I don't know if WWE has posted that yet, but yeah. Well, Vicky Guerrero actually unveiled her cover, which featured the McMahon-Helmsley family. Yeah, that was kind of subtle in my opinion. But then Brad Maddox revealed his design, which was him front and center, alongside by the images of CM Punk and John Cena. But then the King unveiled the true cover, and who is on the cover? None other than the People's Champion, The Rock. Well-deserved, Rock. Congratulations. Next. Next came possibly one of the more impressive showings of the night, Ryback versus the Great Khali. And note, this is actually Ryback's first appearance as Payback, so, and I can't believe I'm saying this, Ryback sucked in this match. I'm sorry, this is not one of his best matches. The Great Khali was dominating this match. In fact, you could hear Hornswoggle say, come on, beat him, you can beat him, he's not the same size. But just when Khali was about to do the Punjabi plunge, Khali kicked his knees in, and Lord and behold, I was like, okay, there's no way he's going to shell-shock the Great Khali. And Lord and behold, he did. He did one lap, and then he decided to do another. Okay. And then came the shell-shock, and he snarled, I'm still hungry. So I could see a potential more title run in the future, but not the WWE Championship. And speaking of the WWE Championship, John Cena came out next, addressing the deception of Mark Henry. He called Henry out for disgracing not only his family, but the previous superstars like Edge, Shawn Michaels, and the Nature Boy on their retirement speeches. But he did agree with him. The WWE title must be earned. But boy, all I can say is, I can't wait to see that match when that happens. Next were the triple threat number one contenders match for the tag team titles between the Usos, Tons of Funk, and 3MV. Why is 3MB in there? I have no idea. And frankly, who cares? And actually, I was pulling for Tons of Funk, but in the end, the Usos got the victory by pinning Tenzai, and the Usos are your #1 contenders. Now, all I gotta say is that the Usos are from California, I think. I'm pulling for them to win somewhere down the line. I'm pulling for them to get it. That way they can build their family legacy. Next, CM Punk confronted Paul Heyman. Well, Paul Heyman came out first in a chorus of boos in Charlottesville, South Carolina. By the way, it's in Charlottesville, South Carolina, by the way. Yeah, CM Punk got a lot on his mind. But it wasn't the Chicago Blackhawks. Yeah, good one, WWE, good one. Yeah, at least Punk's probably tweeting out happy that the Blackhawks won. And Punk told Heyman that CM Punk was coming for him. And 2, he wanted the truth from Heyman. And plus, the crowd was chanting, "Tell the truth, tell the truth." That was really funny. That was probably the only best chant of the night. So, and Paul Heyman said he had nothing to do with it, but I don't believe that one bit. Next came CM Punk versus Darren Young. And for the longest time, everyone was thinking, okay, I thought Darren Young was going to win this, but in the end, once CM Punk put the Anaconda device, tap, tap, tap. CM Punk defeats Darren Young, and then Titus O'Neil came in to avenge Darren's loss, but out comes Curtis Axel? Yeah, Curtis Axel came out. So, and then afterwards, CM Punk was arguing with Heyman, so next week, it'll be the Primetime Players versus Curtis Axel versus CM Punk. So, I'm guessing they're probably planning something big. Next, Mark Henry came out saying that he wasn't remorseful since just hours after he fell for that hook. So, he also said he'll be coming home with the WWE Championship. So that's all I gotta say. And also, there was another match added for Money in the Bank. It'll be Jericho versus Ryback at Money in the Bank. That's all I can say. And there was another promo for the Wyatt family and Rob Van Dam's return. Then Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank. And boy, talk about a good lineup for the WWE Championship ladder match. It'll be CM Punk, the only person that won Money in the Bank twice. It'll be CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton, Christian, Kane, Sheamus, and the man who innovated the ladder match, Mr. Rob Van Dam. Yeah, so one of my, I was like, I knew that one was coming for sure. Next came the main event, Randy Orton versus Daniel Bryan in a WWE.com app vote. And actually, and when I said this was my favorite match because, well, I never saw a street fight before in WWE. Actually, it was pretty intense. People were thrown into tables, there was a chair, and there was a kendo stick. But in the end, Daniel Bryan used that kudo stick to his advantage, and he makes Randy Orton tap. So Daniel Bryan proved that he's no longer the weak link. But then I thought this could be the Randy Orton heel turn. But nope, he shook his hand for good sportsmanship. Randy Orton shook hands with Daniel Bryan. Okay, then that should just about do it. I gave this Raw a 9 out of 10. But Raw after WrestleMania got a 10 out of 10. And also, I've been holding something back from you guys. But I'm telling you this right now. This August, I will be filming something at Staples Center. As I am going to the biggest WWE event of the summer. That's right, I am going to SummerSlam. And I will be filming some SummerSlam access stuff there. It'll be August 17th and 18th. So mark that on your calendar that on August 17th and 18th, the Mike from LA1 Network will invade SummerSlam. I'll see you guys later.